Hey, welcome to the Stock Market Starters YouTube channel. Today is Friday, and what that means is that we are looking at our interesting trade of the week. It's been a really interesting week in the market. We had one trade that I got into and out of this week, and then one that I just got into today. So we'll look at the one that I got into, got out of, and then I'll also talk through the one that I just got into today and show kind of what that looks like really quick. So let me share my screen. Perfect. So here is the S&P. This week we've been really running up quite a bit, getting up high. I was looking for a pullback really all week to a spot. This week I kept saying, hey, looking for a pullback and a bounce. And we got it, right? Got a pullback to a 5-day. Today it is bouncing. But all week I've been saying, man, things are moving up. Things are moving up. But where's that pullback? And it finally came here on Thursday. Keep that in mind. As I was looking this week, things were extended. We've been running up for really since this low back here on the 5th, we've been running up almost nonstop. And I've been waiting for a pullback. I'm still curious if we're going to get a deeper pullback, next week. But for the time being, I was saying, hey, stuff's moving up. We can take some trades, but got to be aware that that there's this pullback potentially coming. So that was kind of running through my mind this week. Now, the trade that I got into this week was GIS, General Mills, which you might remember from a couple weeks ago when I did this trade right here, where I did a little day trade on General Mills. And it's actually holding in that same trend, running the not that 50-day or the 5-day, the 10-day, running up the 10-day. So what we basically have going on here, and let me show you this in a simpler way. Watch this. Okay, fine. Then pull my, let's remove studies. Boom. So this is what I've been looking at on General Mills this week, right? You can see there's an uptrend going on here. We were in a downtrend, broke out of that off this low level, right? Broke up, came up, moved back down into our support and jumped. And this whole time we've been riding the 10-day EMA. And what's interesting here is, right, we had bounce, bounce. This was, like a 1-minute wick. But then, a bounce here, and this bounce here is when I decided to buy. So let me go back to my regular chart and you can see my entry on it, right? So now you're looking at the same chart. It's just got a bit of EMAs on it, right? You can see that it's got my entry and exit. So you can see I saw it bounce up this day on the 10-day. The next day it started moving up and I got in basically right at the open at 69.15 right here with a few shares. Watched it go up, said, hey, that's pretty cool. It came sideways for another day, looking good, came up another day, came up right up into these highs. I was looking for an exit right up here at 71. Didn't quite get it that day. It was, a few cents lower. A high was up around 70.90. So, about 10 cents lower. And I saw it start to drop. Again, I've been watching all week for that pullback and bounce that we finally got on Thursday on the overall S&P. So I was, a little hesitant to try to hold trades long, especially when I had profit. So what was kind of cool is as this trade progressed, right here, I got in, I had a stop loss for the 10-day, which at that point was down here, right? The next day, the 10-day was down here. So then I was able to kind of walk my stop loss up. And then this day, I looked at a intraday chart, right? During the day, I saw it moving up really, really strong. I was like, man, this is right next to my high. Let me see if I can kind of adjust my stop so that I can lock in some profits. And I ended up setting a profit lock level and got out here at 70.54. So basically just below where it closed, right? I saw it dropping down and then it came back up a little after I got out, though not tremendously so. But kind of a cool little trade, right? Was able to take some profits. And that was really neat, right? You can see it gapped up and it did cross 71 for by 2 cents, 3 cents, which was kind of cool. But the interesting thing is, I was able to make some nice profit, protect myself from loss, and my timing was pretty good. See, I got out Wednesday. The next day, it moved up a little bit, right, and then it moved down. But what's interesting is the actual S&P on Thursday, so the day after I got out, had that drop that I've been looking for, which was kind of cool. So yeah, nice little trade here on GIS. I made, I don't know. I guess let's look, right? Let's see what kind of a move that actually ended up being. That was from about here to about there. Yeah, just over a 2% move, which not huge, right? 2%, not a massive move, not a huge trade. But I was able to make a little profit on it, and it followed the plan really well. And, when I got in, I had under a 1% level of risk, or right around 1% level of risk. So I made about double what I had at risk in this trade. Um, assuming that the stop loss held, which of course I didn't need a stop loss. So that was pretty cool. I was able to lock profits and make a neat little trade this week. So now that the S&P has, had its bounce off of this 5-day EMA, that's what this one is. I saw that it was going to bounce this morning and was able to get into Disney, which was kind of cool. We'll see if it plays out, but this one, may end up. I'm probably going to hold it into next week unless it stops me out. Uh, but kind of cool because it was in this downtrend, broke out of the downtrend. It's been holding on this 20-day and 5-day EMA, right? And then today it started moved down a little bit and it started bouncing up. I was able to get a good entry on it here right around the open. Got in at $90 flat, which was kind of cool, right down at the 20-day basically. And now it's moving up a little bit. So we'll see if it wants to keep going up, but you can see I've got my trading plan in place, right? I've got a stop loss. I've got a profit line that I can adjust and am expecting to adjust down a little bit as this 50-day EMA continues to pull down. But pretty cool, right? I've got a stop loss here, got a profit line up here, and really, I'd be happy to take profits, up here. Even up here, I think would be the first area where I'd start to watch it. But really looking for, this 93 to 93.50 area. But kind of cool. So anyway, a couple trades to look at this week, but interesting trade of the week here on GIS. And that was kind of cool to see, hey, sometimes these stocks will be like in a pattern and bounce. And then, the next bounce I didn't even get, but the bounce after I was able to boom, bounce it. And now it's, setting that, maybe we get another bounce on this thing that kind of makes sense to buy off the 10-day again. So we'll see, but kind of cool. Hopefully, that makes sense. Hopefully you guys are seeing it and hopefully you guys are liking these videos, but we will see you next week. We're getting back into some more investment analysis on our potential investment list here. So looking forward to that. And until we see you on Monday, happy trading and happy investing.